Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to today's webinar. I hope all of you can hear me very clearly. Ruchika, what do you think? Can you hear me?
Yes, Arifa, nice and clear.
Thank you. So my name is Arifa Zahir and I'm the Regional Academic Manager for Burlington English India. And with me is my lovely colleague, Ruchika Francisc. Ruchika, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. So good to have all of you here.
All right. So today we are going to be looking at what constitutes essential aspects of speaking English naturally. I'll be asking you about your own usage and telling you about the 4 areas that you could work on to become a more natural speaker of English. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. So if you think of a question as we are going through, please type it in the chat box, and my colleague Ruchika will pass your questions on to me. I'll also be asking you to comment and react as we go through the webinar. So let's try that out first. Please raise your hand. Say yes in the chat box if you can hear me clearly. Ruchika, what is our audience saying?
Yes, Arifa, I think all the participants can hear you very clearly. You're sending yeses.
Okay, thank you so much. I like all those yeses right out there. So let's begin. So I'm coming to you all the way from Kolkata, India, and the weather out here is quite pleasant, not very cold at all. What about you, Ruchika? Where are you coming from? Yes.
Yes, I am connecting from Kerala, South India, and it's pretty nice here. It's nice. I mean, evenings are beautiful.
Lovely, lucky you. I'm totally jealous. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's see, where is our audience from and how's the weather there like? So quickly in the chat box, write down where you're from and what's the weather like out there.
Cool. Okay. Sundari says cool. I'm from Rajasthan, Coimbatore. Cool. It's a little cold in Coimbatore. Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, pleasant.
Okay.
Coimbatore, very cold, very cold. Okay. Chandigarh, someone from Chandigarh.
Excuse me. So a lot of places experiencing winter right now. And some places, the rain still looks like that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's come back to what we were about to discuss today and what we are going to discuss today. So we are going to talk about what is going to help you with your English, the natural spoken English. Before you, on the screen, are the 4 areas we would be looking at to help us speak English more naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the 4 categorizations, 4 top tips that I would be sharing with all of you in regard to improving your English, making it more natural when you speak before others. What are those 4 tips? Avoid Indianisms, phrasal verbs, connected speech, and sentence stress. The 3 of those, phrasal verbs, connected speech, and sentence stress, are areas which you are supposed to use and at least understand efficiently. And Indianisms are supposed to be avoided. So now let's jump into it immediately and see what we have in store for you today. So, according to the 2011 census, around 129 million Indians speak English as their first, second, and also third language. That's more than the total population of the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand combined. With so many Indians speaking the language, it is no wonder that a very distinct variety of English has evolved in the subcontinent, commonly known as Indianisms. Now, when we talk about Indianisms, there are a lot of questions that arise. Now, I'm going to answer all of those. Why shouldn't we be using it? A lot of times, people tend to think we're speaking Indianism in India, people can understand, but why should we not use it? In the chat box, I want you to come up with answers in regard to that particular question. Why should we not use Indianisms? Quickly, in the chat box, put in your answers.
Okay.
All right, Ruchika, what are they saying?
Yes. Okay. It's called Hinglish. Someone says Praja. It's called Hinglish. Okay. Due to hesitation, pronunciation differs, accent is so different. Because they couldn't connect what we are trying to tell them. Okay. To maintain naturalism of foreign language.
Okay, that's a new word right out there, naturalism. Lovely answers and quite close to what we are about to share right now. Absolutely, it wouldn't be advisable to use Indianisms, all the more because in many professional, for example, a business presentation for an international audience, and academic, for example, an IELTS exam, a TOEFL examination situation, a standard international English is way more suitable. In fact, is preferred compared to Indian English or Indianism. The other reason is Indian English features a large number of unique political, sociological, and administrative terms, which may not be understood outside Indian English speaking communities. So that's a huge big problem right out there. Also, a lot of people feel that it may sound quaint or rather old-fashioned because the world is evolving, new words are coming up, and the international formal English, standard English, is the preferred mode of communication all around the world. So we are going to do something interesting. We are going to have a look at some of the words which are which are used incorrectly in India. It is used in India, but not all around the world. So you'll have to guess and come up with the right answers. Before we do that, why don't you come up with some Indianisms? Let's have a look and see what you have in store. So in the chat box, once again, come up with some Indianisms that you know of.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Now, Gayatri says, na. We often say that. You like it, na?
Yeah, it's an addition that's made towards the end. All right.
Oh, someone says, oh.
Okay, I think a lot more has to be shared with you in regard to Indianisms. It's okay. Let's jump into it right now. So before you on the screen, I have one Indianism with its answer, and the others do not have their standard English on the screen. I've got reply back right out there looking at you, which is telling you that the word isn't reply back, it is reply. In standard English, we use reply. So there are 5 other words for you to guess, to look at, and then come up with the right standard English. In the chat box, once again, put down the number and the right answer according to you. So the ones on the left are totally wrong.
Okay.
So take your time, have a look at it, and then come up with your answers.
Yes, Arifa, we are getting correct answers there in the chat.
Can you share a few names, Ruchika,
Yes,
with the
yes.
answers?
Yes. Oh, they're moving so fast. Okay. Okay. Lata says number 1, photocopy.
Very
Sumati,
good.
What's your name? Sumati says, what's your name for number 6. Manjot Kaur says cousin for number 4. Gayatri, okay, she didn't say. Okay, Reshma says passed away. Yep.
Okay, I think we're getting a lot of right answers right there. So
Yes.
that means we do know Indianisms. We do know that we are making these errors, and yet we tend to make these errors. So very, very important to understand that Indianism is not preferred in international English. So let's stick to standard English. And so before you, here are the answers once again. Ruchika, we didn't get any answers for second last, right?
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I missed that. But it wasn't the one we have mentioned here.
All right. So yes, thank you, Ruchika. So I would like to know from the audience, which are the ones that they make an error with? So is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Max says I answered.
Okay, so he's the one. He's the one.
Yes. Max Stanley.
Oh my.
Okay,
What
5.
is he again
5
saying?
is the number.
5 is the number right there. Before I learned about it, I too would make the same error. So yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ruchika, for the answers. And now let's have a look at the next one.
Yeah, Max.
Yes, Ruchika?
Yeah, Max says mostly everyone says cousin brother or cousin sister.
Okay. Yes, Max, you're right. Absolutely right there. And it's a habit that we need to avoid and get rid of. So, very, very important to understand that standard English does not, shouldn't have Indianisms. And it's important to exclude it from both the spoken and written English, even more with written English, because written English doesn't have Indianisms at all. Because it will definitely help you to sound more natural and sophisticated in professional, academic, and social situations, and also more accurate. So right there, that's the answer for all of you in regard to Indianisms. Now, we are going to jump to the next topic. And the next topic definitely is phrasal verbs. So in the chat box, once again, very quickly, can you share some examples of phrasal verbs? What do you know of it? Just examples would do good. Pushpak, once in a blue moon, is an idiomatic expression. So, and Max put up is absolutely right, spot on. And yes, let's talk about it now, for sure. So we've got phrasal verbs out here, right there, all sunny and bright for you to see. While I tell you what are the aspects of it which are very important for us to know. Now, Phrasal verbs, like commonly known, are more prevalent in spoken English than in written English, because sometimes phrasal verbs also come across as informal or casual if not used correctly. But definitely for spoken English, it's right out there. Now, phrasal verbs, like said, are generally informal. We will be looking at the form, the meaning, and the usage of phrasal verbs to understand it better. What are they? What do they mean? Now, phrasal verbs are verbs, phrases. No, phrasal verbs are phrases that indicate actions. They are generally used in spoken English, like I mentioned earlier, and informal texts. Phrasal verbs combine a simple verb with one or more verbs to create a totally new verb with a totally new meaning. For example, there's a word, we're just taking an example of a word to give. It's a simple verb. Let's see what we are going to do with it now. Again, before you on the screen, there you can see it. So you've got the verb give, to give, so the infinitive give, with in, up, along, and up. Again, once again. So you've got a give and a get, both, sorry. So you can see very clearly before you that the moment give and in or give and up come together, the meaning changes. Now, if you could share some of the other prepositions or adverbs that are used with give in the chat box, that would be really nice. So some more phrasal verbs with give in the chat box.
Max says give away.
Max is really fast, Ruchika, I must say.
Yes, he is. Sangeeta, come along, give out. Get up. Give back. Carry on, from Sudhir.
All right. Thank you so much, Ruchika. Plenty of good words, good phrasal verbs right out there, and helps us understand that our audience does know about phrasal verbs. So if you know about phrasal verbs, and then you must be ready to do the next set of activity with us. Now, very quickly, before I do that, let me reiterate what I just said. A basic phrasal verb, a simple one. Structure includes verb plus preposition or an adverb. Now, I have some before you. I have an activity right out here for you to do. Before we do the activity, I have done a sample sentence for you so that you can have a look into it and then answer the remaining sentences. We've also added the meaning right out there for you to understand how each of these phrasal verbs with look are going to be completed. So, are we ready to jump into the next set of sentences? Give me a quick thumbs up. If you're ready, raise your hand.
Yes.
Lovely. Yes. All hands raised. There we go. Okay. Please take your time, look at the sentences, and share your answers in the chat box.
Yes, we are getting many answers, Arifa. And most of them are correct.
We'll wait for a few more seconds. Let everyone give it a try. Okay, Ruchika, start sharing the answers. I'm excited to see what the audience has written.
Yes, Prajapati answered for number 3 is look out. And Gayatri says look after for number 2. Akshay says look after for number 2. Delphia George, look out for number 3. And look into. Reshma says look into. I don't know for which, she didn't mention the number there.
Okay, please mention your numbers, people.
Look after, look down. For number 4 is look down. I missed the name of the person. Anuradha says look up for 1, look down. Pallavi says for look down. Delphia says number 4, look down. Maria Joe's, I don't know the full name. She says look down.
Okay. I love the excitement right out there. So you're writing it so fast that Ruchika cannot even catch up with you. So that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Ruchika. And yeah, I'm going to share the answers with you. And yes. So yeah, they were correct. Most of our audience has got the answers correct. So that's amazing. Now, before I move on to the next section, I would like to share something else with you about phrasal verbs. These were the basic phrasal verbs where there wasn't a lot of complication. But like I mentioned earlier, we have the simple phrasal verbs where the meaning is direct, and while there are others where the meaning is idiomatic. So let's have a look at both. So the literal meaning is the one which can be easily understood. So the example out there is very clear to understand, because also for a fact because you've done it in the last exercise. So she opened the door and looked outside. However, the idiomatic meaning, the phrasal verbs which have an idiomatic meaning, are not very easy to understand. In fact, difficult to understand. So you can read the example right out there. And if you've got any questions at this point, you can definitely ask. Okay, it looks like there are no answers there. So let's move ahead. Yes, Ruchika.
Prajapati says, can you repeat, ma'am?
Yes, I can definitely repeat. And I just landed up reading Max's sentence question. Put up also means display. Absolutely, Max. Put up also means display. Yes. What should I repeat? Yes. The phrasal verbs have both a simple meaning, where the meaning is very easy to understand. The literal meaning is very obvious. And they also have an idiomatic meaning. That means it's not that easy to understand. And that's the reason why, all the more reason why it should not be used in written language, but of course used in the spoken English. It shows that you know the language well when you use it in the spoken English. All right. So now let's move on to the next stage. And yeah, right there before you. So the next one that we are going to look at is connected speech. In the chat box, very quickly, what is connected speech a part of? Let's see. Let's have a look at the answers. Have you got any answers, Ruchika?
It says, Lata says conversation or convey. Manjot says direct speech. And Sudhir says sequence of sounds. Parts of a main speech by Sangeeta.
Okay, interesting answers out there, I must say. It is a part of pronunciation and, spoken discourse. So very clearly, we will be looking at the different aspects of connected speech, but specifically one particular aspect. So let me take you through it. And yes, what is connected speech? When we speak naturally, we do not pronounce a word, stop, then say the next word in the sentence. Fluent speech flows with the rhythm and the words bump into each other in the sense that they do not separate themselves from each other. Sometimes it even gets attached to each other. Now, the pronunciation of the end and the beginning of the words change because of this. And these changes are described as features of connected speech. There are many types of connected speech. Let's say assimilation, elision, catenation, weak sounds, and many more. But the one that we are going to talk about, at least for this particular activity, would be catenation. Now, what is catenation and what is elision? So these are the two aspects which are very, very important to understand. But before I jump into that, once again, I have a word for you, and you are going to tell me how are you going to write that word out. So the word is ANAPPLE. So which word have I spelt it out like this? Can you write in the chat box very quickly? Very simple right out there. Yes, yes. The answer is an apple. Yes, the answer is an apple. Okay. Now, what is catenation? Catenation happens when a consonant sound at the end of one word gets attached to the first vowel sound at the beginning of the following word. For example, when native speakers say the word that you just mentioned, an apple, you'll usually hear them say an apple. You will not hear them say an apple. They would say an apple. The N in an gets joined with the sound in apple, and it becomes almost like a single word. So we are now going to do an exercise, which is going to help you understand what catenation is and and also that it has other features, the weak sound, the elision, the assimilation. So it's fairly easy. You will have to figure out what these words are. For the first one, Ruchika is going to be my guest to guess the word.
Okay, Arifa, some learners are saying screen not visible. Can we stop share and share once again?
Sure. Okay. Can you see it now?
No.
Okay. Just a second. Looks like a tech error. Can you see it? Is it visible?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. So we are going to play a game, and this one has a mixture of a lot of the other features of connected speech too, but mostly catenation. So Ruchika, I'm going to roll the dice and see where it stops. Okay. Yes, before you pronounce the word and tell us what the word is, what do you think is the most confusing thing about this particular phrase?
6 eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've already got the answers, Arifa, and I can, easily see they're typing the answers so fast.
Okay, that's interesting. That's really nice. Let's see what they are typing.
They're typing 6 eggs.
Okay, okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. So now let's do the next one then. Quickly in the chat.
Yes, all of them have guessed right.
They have to be exact, Ruchika. Call out the name of a person whose answer is exact.
It's moving really fast, Arifa. It's okay. Please slow down. Vaishnavi, an apple and an orange. G. Magesh, an apple and an orange. Reshma has correct. Prajapati, no, you missed and there. Sheila has correct one, an apple and an orange.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ruchika. Now, we are going to resume with it and spin it once again. Okay, what are the answers with this one?
Yes, right, Malati, Vaishnavi, Divya, Sujita, T.E. Ruby, Mahalakshmi, Shivam. I'm only going to read their names this time because all of them have given the correct answer. So fast. Shubha, Mrida, Sundari, Rekha, Suchitra, Manjot, Pravanthi, Akshita, Swapna, Annie, Max, Anushya.
All right. So let me tell you something very interesting about this particular word. When we look at this word, these two words, we say very clearly green beans. But when you speak fast, let's do it together. I'm imagining that you are there wherever you are, whichever part of the country you are, and you've got this phone before you or the laptop, and you're going to pronounce it together with me. So let's do this together. Ruchika, you too. So green beans.
Green beans.
There you go. So you see, when we speak fast, we sound like a native speaker. And that is the time when we do not pronounce green and green and beans separately. They come together and they sound like green beans. All right. Now, I think we are moving towards the last one or the penultimate one, not the second last one.
Yes.
The last one.
They've already sent the answers.
We are going to imagine that this is not the word and this is the word that we are looking at. So let's resume once again. So the answers have come?
Yes, already.
Please share.
Yes, salt and pepper, Prajapati, Vaishnavi, Reshma, Sudhir, Suchitra, Sundari, and yep, Subha, Sheila, Divya, Ayappan, Amrit Kaur, Anusha, Max, Shivam, Nina.
Okay, right out there, right out there. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And now what we're going to do next is again another feature of, I'm not going to tell you what is it a feature of. You are going to tell me what is it a feature of. So what is, just a second. Before I do that, I need to tell you something very important. So how do you become better at connected speech? Because there are a lot of things that you need to be good at before, you can actually use it. So the idea is not to exactly use it like a native speaker, but at least sound in such a way that a native speaker can also understand what you're saying, so that your English sounds more natural to everyone, around the world internationally. Now, it is very important to achieve this by concentrating on listening to native speakers and then practicing it. Now, there are various ways in which you can listen to native speakers, listen to good English. It's not just by listening to, say, some rap song, which doesn't have the pronunciation very clearly out there. You would need to listen to BBC podcasts, you would need to listen to maybe TED Talks, and all the other sites where there's good English being used. And it would be an excellent, excellent idea to also to listen to different accents, American, British, Australian, and the others, also Canadian, which is very close to the British one. This will help you understand people using a range of different accents. You can also use music. Like I mentioned, be careful with the kind of songs that you're listening to. But if you are careful with the kind of songs, with the kind of music that you're choosing to listen to, these could also be very helpful for you in regard to understanding connected speech and also learning connected speech. Now, something very, very important to understand out here is connected speech is what a native speaker would understand. But if you practice also and listen properly to what is required to be said, you too could become an expert in it. So the idea is practice, record yourself, and listen to yourself. All right, so now we're going to move towards sentence stress. And again, a very, very important aspect of what? So in the chat box, once again, what is a sentence stress a part of, and how does it help us to become a natural speaker of English? Screen is not being shared. Malati Singh, sentence structure. Okay. Chandrika. Yes, Sujita. Pattern of stressed and unstressed words across the sentence. Yes, yes, yes. So let me tell you more about it. And yes, let's talk about it. Again, before you on the screen. I will have to come out of this particular screen where I played that game with you. So yes, right here now, you should be able to see sentence stress. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Now, Like mentioned earlier, to sound natural in English, you need to have the right rhythm. It's important to understand that accent is less important. There was someone who had asked that question, what about the strong accent that we have? It is important to understand that if you can stress on the right words, then you will be able to communicate, convey what you're trying to say. So sentence stress is basically what gives English its rhythm or beat. It is the pattern of stressed and unstressed words across a sentence. Most sentences, you'll notice, have two types of words. Any guesses in regard to that? Okay, Ruchika, any responses there?
Not yet, Arifa.
Okay, so let me share it with all of you. So sentence stress would have both content words and function words. Now, it's very important to understand out here what these are. What are content words? Content words are the key words of a sentence. They are the important words that carry the meaning or sense, like the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, and sometimes also the adverbs. They convey the more important information to you. What are the function words? Also often called structure words. Function words are not very important words. They're small, simple words that make the sentence correct grammatically. Can you guess any function word in the chat box? Mention it in the chat and mention it in the chat box.
Uma Maheshwari says preposition.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you, Uma Maheshwari. Wonderful answer. Of course, yes, prepositions, pronouns, articles, and sometimes we miss this, also auxiliary verbs. We tend to often think that since we have to stress upon verbs, we may also stress upon the auxiliary verbs. Don't make that mistake. They fall under the category of function words or structure words. Now, how does the stress affect the meaning of a sentence? It's very important to understand that. You'll realize that if you remove the content words from a sentence, you will not understand the sentence at all. The sentence will stop having any meaning or any sense at all. So that is the value of content words. So sentence stress occurs when we say certain words more loudly and with more emphasis than others. You cannot emphasize every word in a sentence, stress every word in a sentence. You're going to sound like a mad person if you do that, loud and mad. Therefore, when we want to convey a specific information, a specific meaning, we stress on those content words which are essential to the meaning of the sentence. So we are going to do an activity once again. How much do we love activities here? Raise your hand if you like doing activities with us.
Yes, hands raised.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for showing all that. Yes. Okay, so let's do an activity to understand this better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the sentence aloud, stressing on specific words, okay, but with a twist. Again, before you on the screen. A very interesting thing right out there. Can you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I'm sure this is reminding you of a Hindi song, which I'm not going to share. but you very well know which song it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the numbers, look at them carefully. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ruchika, are they right? Have I missed any number?
They're saying 3.
I haven't said anything.
But they're typing 3.
Okay, so what we are going to do is I'm going to read the sentence out aloud by stressing on a specific word. And you'll have to guess and tell me which word it is. All right? Everyone, ready for that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So everyone's raised their hand and they're ready. Okay. So the first one is going to be done by Ruchika. So Ruchika, ready to roll?
I don't think she has the book.
Okay. So where is the stress on? I think it is I. Am I right, Ruchika?
No. I'll repeat it again. Maybe I said it little and not in a very right manner. I'll repeat that again, okay? I don't think she has the book.
So the word is think.
Yes.
Yes. So that means, thank you so much, Ruchika. So the word is think. That means number 3 right out there. She doesn't think that, but she could be wrong. Yes, so that's what it means. She doesn't think it, but she could be wrong. So now it's my turn. I'm going to read the sentence aloud. I'm going to stress on one particular word. In the chat box, you'll have to quickly write which word or which number it is. I'm starting right now. I don't think she has the book. Quickly.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Right there. Love that the audience is getting the answer right. Now, the next one. I don't think she has the book.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Are they giving the right answers, Ruchika? I can see a lot of responses, but not the exact answers. Okay. All right. And the last one. I don't think she has the book. So have they got the right one, Ruchika?
Yes, yes. Most of them have I.
And we'll just be nice and we'll do one extra one, which is not even there on a list. So I don't think she has the book. What is our audience saying?
Book. They're saying book.
All right. So before you on the screen are the meanings. What are these sentences trying to convey when I stress upon those specific words? So it's very interesting and also very important to understand that when we stress on specific words, we convey the meaning in correlation to those words, whatever we are trying to say. And it's also important to understand that word stress can change depending on what you're trying to say. So keep those two things in mind when you do your sentence stress. Now, what did we do today? I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Yes, what did we do today? So we did 4 very interesting things. If you can recapitulate it for me, my audience, quickly in the chat, can you tell me what was the first one that we did?
Vidya says avoid Indianism.
Okay.
T.E.
What?
Ruby says the same.
Okay. So what was number 2 on that list?
Prajapati says phrasal words. Phrasal verbs.
Number 3.
Pallavi says connected speech. Anuradha says yes.
No, nothing. Thank you, Ruchika. And I'm not going to ask you number 4 because we just did it. So it's all very fresh in your memory, in your mind. So thank you, my lovely audience. These were the 4 things that we did, 4 different aspects that we looked into. We spoke about avoiding Indianism. We spoke about using phrasal verbs to sound more natural, to sound, to sound more sophisticated. And we spoke about connected speech, which not only helps us to speak, but also helps us to understand the way people are speaking internationally. Connected speech is a very, very important aspect of speaking English naturally. If you're going to stop, stumble, and speak, you're not going to come across as someone who's speaking English naturally. You'll look very, very restricted. So, connected speech, assimilation, elision, catenation. I didn't explain everything to you. I just did catenation with you and did some examples. But you get the point. It's important to understand those bits in order to understand connected speech better and use them. And the last one, sentence stress, where it's very, very important to stress upon words which we feel are going to convey the information that we want to convey. So all these 4 together, avoiding Indianisms, are going to make you a natural speaker of English. So right there. With that, we come to the end of today's session. If you've got any questions, quickly put it in the chat box. So what is the audience saying, Ruchika?
Okay, Vidya Narayan is saying very interactive and interesting session. Thank you, Ms. Arifa Zahir and Ms. Ruchika Francis. Thank you. Sudhir says absolutely marvelous, very practical, very interesting. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you. Thank you for all these lovely comments. Aren't they lovely, Ruchika?
They are, yes.
Okay. Now, do you have any questions? We've got 5 more minutes where we can spend answering your questions. Sure, Gayatri, sure. Stay connected. And if you'd like to know more about these sessions, it would be a lovely idea. It would be very good to check out our website, burlingtonenglish.in. I'm going to do something. I'm going to share the Burlington English website address with you right now.
Anuradha says, could you please suggest few songs, movies to learn pronunciation and sound more natural?
Okay, some movies that you can watch are, have you seen The Sound of Music? The Sound of Music is a lovely movie that you can watch. Others that you can watch, there are lots of songs, good English songs like Country Roads. Check out the country songs and which are there. And yes, I would say look out for look out for watching movies generally on the Hallmark channel and the other English channels which have good English. and TED Talks, BBC podcasts, and also the IELTS. If you just go online, you'll see a lot of material online. IELTS listening examination, question papers which are there online. They help you understand listening skills in a more, let's say, in a very precise manner. You can do the activities and check and see whether you can understand what is being conveyed. Though it is an examination which is given to go abroad, but it works very well for practicing listening. And that's our website. To know more about the courses we offer, to know more about, when the next webinar is going to be, please log into this particular website and check it for yourself. We've got some lovely, lovely blogs there, and we've got a lot of information there about the courses we offer. So go ahead, check it out on our system. Thank you very much, everyone. Wonderful having you as part of our audience, and I hope you really enjoyed today's session. Thank you, Ruchika.
Thank you so much, Arifa.
Bye, everyone.